Dr. Drizzy Dre, what it do, man?
What's crack-a-lackin', homie?
Hello, how are you?
I'm great, brother. I'm great. How
Are
are
you with
you?
us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I'm good, bro. I can hear you. I can hear you. You just didn't respond when I said, "How are you doing?" That's all.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
How was your day, man? Everything okay? Did you make any money today?
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Um, kind of relating to our topic tonight. Just a bunch of quoting, hoping that something sticks, lands
Bunch
on
of
the
quoting.
wall. But yeah, but you know what they say. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. So really, I've just spent
I feel you.
a lot of time kind of researching the market. What's still moving, what I'm good at. My niche, and starting tomorrow, we got a new game plan, a new warpath, and get out of the way. So
Oh
we're
yeah,
rocking and rolling. Oh, not you,
well, that's fucking
motherfucker.
awesome.
But
No,
how was
I
your
mean,
day,
I
bro?
was like, it was pretty good, man. I'm talking to a couple of these people more in depth that I had met at this furniture market last month. One of them is we're discussing about a business to residents transportation program. Currently they do business to business out of a couple warehouses they have in the southeast, and they're looking to get into shipping their stuff direct from their warehouse to people's homes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Pieces
man.
of furniture. So um, they just we're talking about that. They're asking me how I would go about it. They haven't set it up yet, so we're trying to see if we can make something happen on that. And also talking to a customer that they're big in the higher end furniture part of the industry. So that's the one I was just telling you, bro. They sent me an email and said, "Can you send me a map, a coverage map of where you deliver freight?" And I just sent them a picture of the United States. Like, so yeah, it's pretty good, man. Moved some loads, made some money, trying to make some moves and make some of these contacts that I met become fruitful. So pretty decent day, my friend. I could complain, but that means I'd have to find somebody to listen, and no one's really going to give a shit anyway.
You got that right, because I will hop off this show if you start complaining, bro.
That's fine. That's fine, bro, because I have all your contact information and I know where you live. So I will just come hunt you down, man. It's all good. Do whatever you feel that you need to do, boo.
I'm
So
glad this is live. If I go missing, blame this guy.
if you go, he's like, yeah. If I go missing, it was fucking.
Blame
Go talk to
this
Pedro.
guy.
Go talk to Pedro Potato, man. He's gonna be able to tell you what's going on. So, well, it's just you and I tonight, Hunter. Pretty exciting. This is our first solo show that we have done since we started. Well, I think we did one when we first started, and we were like, "Oh my god, we suck donkey balls. Let's never do that." And
Just
and
jumbling, bumbling idiots.
we were just some bumbling, fumbling fucking morons. You're 100% correct. So we decided, oh, we're just going to have guests on all the time. And coincidentally, we weren't able to line anyone up that we wanted to have on tonight. So we're doing it solo, man. And I'm actually pretty excited about the little show we're going to do tonight, man.
Absolutely.
Talking about the freight market, man. And although I know all the carriers watching this are going to say, "Oh, this is just two brokers trying to push a narrative," and all that stuff. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a honest, transparent guy. I have integrity in this industry, and pretty much whatever I tell you, as far as, well, I wouldn't say whatever it takes. I don't want to sound like I'm an expert, but if I put my opinion out there and say this is how something is, then like that's the truth. That is my opinion as a person in this industry for 16 years, from a driver to a transportation manager. I'm for real, bro. Go look at my LinkedIn. All my experiences there, dude. I ain't got none to hide. But anyway, so we're just really excited about tonight. Talk about this little freight market deal. I think it's going to be cool. And I'm happy that it's just you and me tonight, Hunter. Oh, dude, I see that you got your Jason Rabine shirt on, yo. Oh shit. Look at that. Make America great again. That's our boy Jason Rabine, man. The double broker killer. Yeah, that's
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, drop him a line, Hunter. I don't know his information. I know the name of the company, but drop him a line real quick.
Yeah, man, Mr. Jason Rabine, Lowboy Industries. All the proceeds are, I think it's 20% of the proceeds go to veterans, like suicide prevention. Goes towards some truckers. It's a pretty good cause. Also got some really great merchandise out there. Big American brand right here. So support the truckers, support, mental health, veterans, support your fellow logisticians. Even if you don't, make America great again.
I love it. So before we move on to our little news segment real quick, we're going to go ahead and drop some love to our sponsors. First up, as you see, we have their info rolling across screen is AccuBid. They have an incredible app for all you drivers out there, you carriers or specifically owner operators. It helps you keep track of your expenses, helps you realize or understand where you're profitable at, teaches you how to bid better on the freight, and just an incredible tool for any owner operator to have, in my opinion. I downloaded the app myself. I did the free trial. I operate a truck on my own, so I put some data in there to see what it would spit out, and really an amazing piece of technology if you're an owner operator. So I advise that you get it, and it is available in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store.
Don't be a victim of cheap freight anymore. Take back control. These are turbulent times for the transportation industry, with companies merging or even closing their doors. Whether you're going out on your own or leasing on with a new company, know your operating costs. Look out for you and bid better with AccuBid Pro.
Yay. There you go.
What a fire advertisement. That shit is on point.
I like that, bro. She, like I said, I think Crystal did that over there at AccuBid. She did she did a really good job. So yeah, hit up Jimmy and all his people over there at AccuBid. Their info is scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now. And to follow up after them, we have our second sponsor for the month, and that is Freight Management Systems. They have an incredible transportation management system for all of you people in logistics out there. They have incredible integration capabilities, helps you with financing, accounting, document management. It has an app to where you can get your carriers to sign digitally for their rate cons and other paperwork. So really amazing technology. We recommend that if you're looking for a good transportation management system, that you reach out to Freight Management Systems. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Hit them up. Freight Management Systems. Like I said, they have an incredible TMS or transportation management systems. Honestly, if I had to tell you what TMS stands for, you should question your position in this industry right now. So
too many systems, isn't that?
It is, right? Freight Management System, transportation management systems. Who the hell? Chad, for the love of God, if you're watching the show, bro, quit texting me and Hunter. We're live. We actually have things that we're trying to do tonight. So instead of playing with ourselves at home.
Oh, there he is. He's popping in on the chat.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
man's on his computer. He can check in, but he can't be on the show.
Look at these handsome. Yeah, I know exactly, Chad. You can sit here and text and comment on the show, but you can't be on the show. That's why Chad is sometimes Chad.
He's our BB.
He is
our
my
BB. Man. What's going on, brother?
Baka,
baby.
Nathan, what's up?
On
phone, bro. Well, hey, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, I will DM you a link right now, Chad, to your phone so you can get invited. Don't play us like that. All we got to do is hit this invite button right here, and boom, you can be on the show. So phone or no phone, don't be giving us excuses, Chad. Give us solutions. Y'all send me the link, and I'll be all right. All right, hey, DM him the link, Hunter. There you go. DM him the link. So anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to move over to our quick little news segment that we do every night, and we're going to talk about something that, I mean, it's everybody's talking about this particular subject in the industry. It's really a huge thing right now. It's obviously affecting folks in every aspect of the industry. So before we get into that, boom. See, I made it a little longer, bro. I think it was better. It was a little longer. What do you think?
I mean, that's what she said, but
Fucking Jesus Christ. Whatever, Hunter.
there you go. No, it looks good, man. It looks good. You did a great job. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for stroking my ego. So, as I said, our topic tonight is on something that, a lot of people have been talking about during this year, especially in our industry. And I don't mean this company specifically. I mean the filing for bankruptcies and the people going out of business, whether it's the freight brokers or carriers. It's really hitting our industry hard right now. Actually part of what we're going to talk about tonight with the control the freight market, or who controls the freight market, is going to touch on this as well, about how the rate and the market flips and how it's cyclical and such like that. So this company here, as you see, 85-year-old Indiana trucking company. I may be pronouncing part of this wrong, but I believe it is Elmer Bukta or maybe Bukta Trucking. As you see, it says they're out of Oatwell, Jesus, Lord have mercy, Oatwell, Indiana. They were founded in 1938, and I actually have their website pulled up. They have an incredible history that I kind of just want to go over for a minute. They were started at the end of the Great Depression. They made it through the Second World War, and they have specialized in everything from moving houses. They were big in the coal industry in their area for quite some time. Currently, they do bulk, pneumatic, and dry van freight. The company was ran by the founder for well over 50 years, up until 1991. So my point is a really, really strong company with a really strong heritage in the industry. Even if you never heard of them, the fact that this company's been in business for 85 years really, really, in my opinion, says something to, how great of a company they were, or great company they are, and the fact that they were doing things right to be able to stay in business for the amount of time that they had. So the point is here now they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which is just bankruptcy protection. They're obviously still able to operate and also are still able to get money if it's approved by a judge. So basically it's the point where they're restructuring all of their assets and their liabilities and trying to see if they can keep themselves afloat, and come out, start out with a clean slate. The article talks about that they had listed their assets between 1 and 10 million and their liabilities between 12 and 50 million. And they had up to 199 creditors. The two largest creditors actually are ones that are the financiers of their equipment, and they are owed about $22 million a piece. And it goes down the list. They owe their insurance company some money. They owe a couple other leasing equipment companies some money. And they also own what I assume is their fuel provider, which is this Heritage Petroleum. They owe them a little over $100K as well. So they obviously have a huge amount of debt that they need to take care of and try to get restructured and reposition themselves to hopefully stay afloat. But my point of bringing this to light was not to put this company on blast, but was just to continue to further highlight that this really is a struggle, as I said in the beginning, in our industry as a whole. It's brokers going out of business, carriers going out of business. I don't have data to support which ones are going out of business at a higher rate, but I honestly don't think that's of much importance for the reason that this is still people's businesses, their livelihoods. Folks are losing jobs, so regardless, it sucks. Maybe not for the executive people, but it sucks for everybody else. So just another sad thing to see, especially when it comes to a company that's been in business this long. These people aren't put in what I would consider the COVID crusaders, which y'all know are the people, brokers and carriers that got in the industry during COVID, spent all this money, this stupid shit, didn't save for a rainy day, and now they're going out of business. Like, even though that sucks, it's like, hey, you should have seen further than 6 months, and maybe you would not have been in the position you're in. But companies like this that have almost a century in business, even Yellow, even though they were in trouble for a long time, made a lot of stupid mistakes. They had almost 100 years worth of time in service. So that is that's a huge thing, man, to see companies.
I mean, to your point, Rob, like, this is always cyclical. And, most people, it's like, all right, it's season. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. Well, shit, it's been, 3 years now? And it's still not come back, to anybody's court. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think it's a smart move on their end, filing the Chapter 11, because that does, it gives them some time, gives them a little bit of security, gives them time to readjust. I don't think that anybody on the board is, having it any easier than it has been before. But, I mean, shit, this is just this company alone has caught a lot of wind. I mean, Jeff Dickinson, shout out to that man. It's, he brought this up, and, you brought it up, Rob, and I've seen it all over the place, man. It is crazy. Like, people that have 200 assets, 100 drivers, gone through it, from the Great Depression all the way up through now. It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. Where's the turn? Oh, you're on mute, Rob. Big dummy.
Yeah, no, my bad, bro. I don't know if anyone's going to report further on it. I mean, I would like to follow it, just like I did with Yellow, not because obviously this is a huge company, but they've been in business a long time, and I would kind of like to see maybe a few months down the line what they're able to make happen, and if these 100 drivers and whatever the amount of office personnel that they have were able to keep their jobs and these people stay afloat. So
well, Yellow just bailed out. Yellow they just jumped ship. At least this company right here. I mean, like, Yellow, we all know how YRC was. Like, that's not the most reputable business. And it's better than, like, some companies I have seen. Like, I saw this one cat. I don't know what trucking company it was, but they called him in. He was on a lease-to-own contract. Called him in to get his brakes replaced. And they said, this isn't your truck anymore. Just sold out. Like, right from underneath them. So, I mean, I think an action like this, like, that's a pretty honest way to go about it. Like, yeah, we're in trouble. We have no problem with it, but just completely selling out or liquidating completely. I mean, that's
I agree with you, man. I'm glad that they are trying to stay afloat. And hopefully they'll regain their footing. I don't know anything further than what the story says, but reading their company history and the stuff that the article says about them, they don't seem like a company that made a lot of dumb decisions. You see, they're only 100 drivers, 230 power units. They're not that big. They operate in their own little niche markets in a certain region of the company, or country. Same things that they've been doing for decades. So I think they're just another one of those victims of the today's markets, and not just the freight market, man. The economy itself and everything. So,
but these American-made SMBs, small, medium-sized businesses, man, those are the ones that, like, we need to keep afloat. And I hope this does bring them some visibility, because, like, these big corporate cats, if I see somebody that has 500 trucks, like that brings more worry to me than somebody that has 30 trucks, because I know the guy that has 30 trucks is going to care way more about my business if I was a shipper, or even just as a broker. Like, they're going to care about that because that's their business. But, you know, these big dogs that, you know, just corporations, corporate America type shit, they don't care about you. And they're the ones that, I mean,
I agree with you, bro. I do about 1,000%. So, but yeah, there's my little news thing tonight. You know, that 85-year-old Indiana company filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Just, you know, further highlighting that the industry is continuing to be affected in every corner, and there are people in every part of this industry that are being affected. You know, carriers, shippers, brokers, everyone. It's hard times, and you know, no one is safe, no matter whether you've been in business 2 years or 85 years, like that company there that we were just talking about. So, with that said, what we are going to do is we're going to move on to our main topic of the night, which is it discusses about who controls the freight market or is currently controlling the freight market. But in a broader sense, I'm going to say controls the freight rate market and the freight market period. So, you know, I know there's going to be a lot of carriers out there that are going to say, oh, this is just, you know, a couple of fucking brokers feeding their bullshit down our throat, so forth, so on. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you this again, just like I said at the beginning of the show. You know, I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass. I don't do it in my personal life. I don't do it in my professional life. I tell you the way it is, the way it's going to lay, and the way that I see it based on the research and data that I have available at hand. Now, that said, you know, everything is up for debate, and what one person sees as the law of the land is not what another person sees. But this is it truly needs to be said. And if you, this will teach you something about the industry, and then maybe it'll get people off our backs as brokers. Because I'll tell you, I hate when I hear people say, oh, brokers run the industry, they ruin it, the freight rates and so forth, so on. That is true to a point, but to a very small point. And hopefully we can shine some light on that tonight. Sometimes, Chad, I see your fucking mouth itching, bro. What's up? You look like you want to say something.
I got so much to say about this. So ultimately, I strongly believe the shippers actually control the market. Now, brokers will say truckers do, truckers will say brokers do. But realistically, if shippers would show some loyalty, use one broker or two, what it boils down to is the algorithms used in our resources these days. That has algorithms. Truckstop, I'm eating peanut butter pretzels. That has algorithms. Truckstop has algorithms. You have 7 brokers posting the same damn load. It creates additional compensation above what market's going to require, and that increases rates. And so one big issue I think in today's market that we are experiencing, and we have for years, but it's severe now, is that we're over creating a level of competition that is just increasing rates across the board. Everyone's hungry for business, obviously, but if shippers just let someone, not someone's, manage their freight for them, if they don't want to, that one person, depending on the volumes, can really control the rates on that lane. I think that would go a long way in bringing rates down on every lane. But, you know, when you have 7 brokers posting the same damn load, increasing rates because they see that on, broker A has it for this much, so I'm going to increase it at $50 a higher and trying to get the trucks. And it's just, it's a domino effect that is destroying the market, I think. That's how I feel about it.
I mean, that's what they've been talking about. I mean, in this article, I don't know if you read it or not, Chad, but like one of the biggest things is
I had to get my glasses, and by the time I got them, y'all were done.
But yeah, in this article, like this lady talks about, now more than ever in the past 2 years, phones are lighting up for these shippers. They're having every XYZ broker call them saying, hey,
absolutely,
I have all these trucks in the area, which everybody's posting to the same thing. So everybody's just undercutting everybody. So it's, I mean, in essence, yeah, shippers or brokers and carriers are pitting against each other because the shippers are catching on that, like, these false promises are being made. But in all reality, like,
No.
yeah, they're going to get that truck there for the rate that they want. But like, I think one of the biggest things, and Rob's probably going to hate me for saying this, but technology, track and trace, you know, communication, like live tracking, you know, that's really going to make the difference there, because anybody can be a broker. You know, if you can get DAT and you got a silver tongue and you know how to talk to carriers, you're going to be able to get that freight.
See, I don't like
However,
that. I don't like that
You know,
because, you know, a broker needs to understand market analysis. A broker needs to be able to call their shipper, call their customer and say, hey, look, this lane's costing a little more today. It's going to cost me a little more to get a good carrier. See, brokers just thinking they need that truck stop and a silver fucking tongue. That is what is hurting the third party industry these days.
I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree with you. Like, we've talked about
there's
this
no
before.
market
I don't work
analysis
for cheap
anymore.
freight. I don't work for cheap freight, but you know, with these COVID crusaders, these cats
You know,
that come in on one of the 3-letter brokerages, they're the ones that are really freaking killing us here, man. But like,
come
all
on.
right, well,
Say
I mean,
4-letter. I know which ones you're talking about, but no, yeah, it's just you know, not knowing not knowing or understanding the market analysis side of being a transportation provider, that forces you to undercut rates. You're undercutting carriers. At some point, carriers are forced to take that shit freight, those shit rates. They got to get home, you know, and you know, that's how carriers shut down. And when too many carriers shut down because of these cheap rates, brokers and shippers are providing the market, you know, that causes that is not only an indication, but that is inflation becomes a result of that. You know, rates do increase because of that alone. And when transportation rates are up, newsflash to the public, cargo owners are not eating the extra cost. Consumers are absorbing that cost in their shelf pricing. And so that is a big manipulation in today's market, and it's just because everyone thinks this, you know, this is an easy market to get into and it's an easy job to do. And great, if I get a fax machine, which I don't know why in 2023 we're still using them. If I get a fax machine, dat and truck stop, I can be a broker. It's so much more than that. And I know what you were saying. You were definitely being sarcastic about it, but realistically, it's so much more than that. And if people were treated as such, it could go a long way in controlling today's market and bring it down, which would help the consumer's pocket.
yeah. I see you there, Kyle Graves. Don't take everything I say for word, brother. I'm a drayage man. I will take the cheaper freight, but everybody knows it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
That's right.
You got to build that value. However, some of these shippers that are just price driven,
Man, that's not. I
get
mean,
out of here.
yeah, most of them are, but to start it off, this I'm actually going to play a video here in a second. It's like a minute long, and it's by a guy, was put out a few months ago, that actually works for the Transportation Intermediaries Association. If you don't know who they are, I'm not going to tell you. Go look them up, you know, and you'll figure out how credible they are. But well, I don't run, so I don't care if it's American. That's
Man's busting balls right now.
all I'm going to say.
We got to get Mr. Graves on the show.
Dude, we do have to get Kyle on the show. I can't wait to get him on here. But either way, to start it off, this article right here, this is from a new news source that I found, transporttopics.com, or it's ttnews.com. I've been looking at some of their stuff. They got some pretty good things going on. They put this one out Monday, and a lot of people have been going around talking about who controls the freight market. It's a back and forth thing between carriers, brokers, shippers, blah, 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 blah. You know, of course, brokers are the ones that catch all the blame and the hate. But so either way, this article talks about, as you see, freight brokers adjusting to the market as the power swings to the shippers. Now, this article doesn't really say man, the shippers control the market. Freight brokers are having to put out these low rates and do this because, shippers only want this, they only want that. You have to do this because that's what the shipper says. What this specific article mainly touches on, and to be honest, I will say the way it was written, it was kind of hard to follow, but it's basically saying that now that COVID is over and the carrier capacity is still up there, but the freight amount has decreased, that now brokers are having to change their game to still keep business and gain business with shippers, be competitive themselves, and still be able to make a living, but also be able to put freight out there on the market for the carriers to move. And mainly what this one touches on is the things that brokers have to do that, which Chad, you touched on from the very get, which is, being knowledgeable, knowing analytics and know what's going on in the marketplace and being able to feed information to your customer because you know what the fuck you're doing and you know what you're talking about. And it also goes on further in an article that talks about how, technology is now a huge thing. Shipper says stop, shipper says go, shipper says two-step. That is exactly right, Kyle. That is exactly the way it is. You are 100% right. But the article talks about how technology, obviously is really what runs pretty much everything in this industry today. And it is one of the tools that brokers are really using to try to gain leverage in the game when it comes to shippers. They want things as automated as possible. They want it as easy as possible. They want to be able to hit a button and make a few clicks, send an email, and everything be done. Hunter, like you said, the tracking and tracing is all automated. They can see analytics for all their past lanes, just, basically streamlining and making everything as easy as possible for them is something that's very important. And the key to that is also cost effectiveness. You can have all the technology in the world and give the shipper all they want, but they also want it fucking cheap. Mm-hmm. So, and like I said, it doesn't verbatim. It doesn't exactly say that in here, but if you read this one of those things, you read between the lines, they're just skirting on what they're saying so they don't exactly place, responsibility or deniability or whatever on one party or not. So, yeah, that's where this one touches at. Is it, like I said, it talks about how brokers are having to shift with the things that they do as a broker to keep business and gain business, mostly on the service, the technology side. But the point of it is that the shipper is the one driving the force behind that change. The market is shifted. They are now fully in control of how much freight is going out, what the rates are, and everyone, especially brokers, have to be competitive because our number one job is sales. Like, it's not logistics. It really is sales. You're a salesperson first, and then you're a logistician second. So, yeah, there is that perspective of it. And before we get deeper into it, I want to play this video from this guy. I actually spent 30 minutes going through my Facebook group trying to find this video because I used to have it pinned in the featured section. And then I deleted it when I started doing advertising in my group. So, bro, it took me like 30, 40 minutes to find this fucking video, man. And I really hope that this works.
After this video, if we could, Kyle Graves just posted another comment. Let's bring it up after this video. I'm going to play devil's advocate with this comment. I look forward to it, but let's watch this video first.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll leave that up. And then, yeah, let me see if I can make this work, bro. Come on, baby. All right.
Of the Transportation Intermediaries Association. And there's a lot being said about truck rates and brokers these days. Most of it isn't true. Brokers don't set prices, the market does. When there are too many trucks chasing too few loads, rates go down. The trucking marketplace is huge, fractured, and incredibly transparent. Shippers, like all buyers, want to get the lowest price possible. They know that There's not enough freight to fill all the trucks. Shippers and brokers offer rates to probe the market. Shippers do it to brokers, brokers do it to carriers. So who does set the going rate? Like it or not, it's the motor carriers that accept it. If carriers don't accept a rate, both shippers and brokers will offer higher rates until the load is accepted. That's the free market economy that allows owner-operators, small carriers, and small brokers to operate.
Boom, bro. Tell me that is not like the fucking bomb of all bombs, dude. Like when I saw that video, I don't know how many months ago, my mind was like literally, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
No, it's good, but honestly, I think it goes back even beyond motor carriers. Just like, Kyle Gray does hit on a little bit here. It is money, and it's not who has the money, as he's saying here. Per that video there, it's more of who needs the money. And dude, most of today's trucking force are owner operators, are small businesses, people who can't survive with taking losses every day, and they big losses. They need some kind of revenue generated. They need their fuel covered, and so I think the need for money supersedes the carrier control, or as Kyle's saying, who has the money, who's paying for it. I think the need for money supersedes even who has the money here.
I mean, but like, dude, you look at any overall operating costs for a shipper. Transportation is the lowest piece of the budget that they have in most cases. So like it's a cyclical cycle. Like, you ask a shipper for more money, it's pulling teeth, and me as a broker, when I say like working for cheap freight, like I'm not going to work for zero, 20, like a $25 rip. That's a waste of my time. Like $100 on a normal lane, that's easy, man. That's cool. High volume, I understand it. But like, if you're asking me to, do like multi-drops, multi-stops, for drayage, if I'm having to handle customs work, transloading, warehousing, all that, and you're still busting my balls, that's where we got the problem, man. Because like diesel prices are not cheap right now. Like there's like people are begging for work at most ports. In my case, like it's nuts. Like, so like some people are getting with it. I'm not being greedy in this market. However, like there's a bottom line, a bottom dollar for everybody in this. So it's really an understanding of it. But like, you're working with these cats that do work with 15 something brokers, and they're all saturating this market. These shippers are not stupid. They're going to keep up with it because they have their boss. It's coming down on their ass. Like, hey, why are we, X amount of dollars over our budget? And they're going to have to do something about it. I don't know. I mean, that's just my 2 cents of it. But
I want to bounce off. Start off from a point that you had made, Hunter. Coincidentally, you're right that coincidentally, transportation and logistics is the most important part of any person or business that manufactures or has to ship stuff to their customer. But on the flip side, as you said, it is always the place they give the least fucking money to. They're like, hey, here's all of the need of our business. It depends on you, but you only can have a very small fraction to get this done. And I make that point to say that, as I've always said, shippers are truly the ones that control the freight or the rate market overall. Like, yes, brokers have a small hand on it because we're handing it because we put the loads on the board, but it is these shippers and then the carriers. It is the shippers because they know that it's a competitive market, and it's oversaturated with brokers right now, just like it is carriers. So there's a lot of people out there fishing for their business. And I'm going to add this in here this is shippers' revenge right now. They got taken advantage of for all that time during COVID, and they got raped by carriers and brokers alike. And they got tired of it. And now that the tables have turned and they're like, hey, it's our turn. We're going to do what we need to do to make all of those profits back that we lost during COVID. And so now it really is a battle of the bulge. Shippers, they chase the lowest rate possible. They always have and they always will. Now, there are times when things are doing good, diesel's cheap, the economy's doing good, that the rates even out and they're willing to pay more because they're making more in their goods. But right now, that is not one of these times. Regardless, just like you said, Hunter, I don't chase $25 wins either. And that is a majority of the stuff out there that is being put out by these shippers and what these wins are. We're going out there spending all this time doing all this prospecting, emails, phone calls, setting up carriers, doing all this tracking, all this paperwork, all this invoicing, all this stuff to win $25 off of your freight. Because that's what it is. We have to drop our rates so low as brokers to be able to win the freight, because shippers are just keeping the rates down, man. They are. I have a customer, every single time I book a load for him, he's like, Rob, give me the best price you can. Even if you save me $10, I need that $10. Every single week, every single load, every single time, $10 is important to him. Like, that is just the way it is.
Well, dude, let's bring it back. I mean, like, if we're going to scale up from the shipping manager, whoever controls the shipping portion of it, there's somebody in their business, whether it be a purchaser or a buyer. Those people are also out here. Like I talked to you about today, Rob, one of my recycling customers, they're quoting left and right, like trying to get business. And like, it's coming from the top. Like, they're not having the budget they need to really sustain what they have to do on the back end of it. Like if you have a product that, like their ROI is not making sense for a lot of these companies. And I'm not financially smart enough to really like break down the numbers and how it exactly, is truly affecting this. But like, that's one of the things I have seen. Like if they do get a deal, especially in recycling, they don't have a whole lot of budget left to even make, a dollar on the penny or a penny on the dollar, if that makes sense. But I think you guys know what I'm saying.
No, I do, man. And I'm with you, dude. The profit margins are important to everybody right now. But I mean, it sounds messed up to say, I guess, in a way, but even more so to the manufacturers or the shippers, customers, whatever you want to call them. Because like I said, a lot of them weren't making all these huge profit margins and all this money that, carriers and brokers were making too during COVID. A lot of these shippers, manufacturers, they were break even or losing money, just trying to, keep their businesses afloat. And now it's come around that like they see that things are in their favor, and they're watching every single penny. They're trying to gain back that working capital. They're trying to put money back, for the rainy day.
Well, dude, yeah, I mean, that just brought some up in my mind. So I have this one customer, they're working with this like a manufacturer out of Israel, and they're trying to get this new packaging done. And the biggest holdup has been literally like 75 cents per, product, like overall cost. And at first I was like, I mean, come on, man. Like, obviously we're in the midst of inflation. Like, things are a bit more expensive these days. But when it comes down to the overall, stack up of it, 75 cents for $100,000, like 100,000 products, that shit adds up, man. Like it really does. And it truly is coming down to pennies that's swinging a lot of this, at least from what I've been seeing.
No,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chad. I've said
whenever you guys are ready, I'm ready to bring up Kyle's last comment here and start talking about that if we could. But go ahead and finish your thoughts, guys.
I thought you'd already touched on it. Like I could have swore you already touched on this comment.
A little bit, but beyond that, there's more beyond it. It's not just money. It's it's real simple. It's demand. It's not just about who spends money, but it's about who needs the money. And when you can smell that in the market, then that's what really controls the market. if you look at every logistics article in the last 3 months, it's been about capacity. Hold on, my dog's freaking out. Sorry. It's been about more capacity than freight. It's been about layoffs and closures and oh boy. Come on. Sorry, go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
Oh my
Cool.
God. Fucking sometimes Chad. Sometimes he's here. Sometimes when he isn't here, his shit works. Like, dude, like you live up to your name every damn show. I swear to fucking God.
Yeah.
So anyway, really what it is there's just a lot of misconception out there when it comes to the shipper, broker, carrier trifecta. I hate to say it, but carriers, they are very short-sighted. They have a 3-foot world that they live in. They only talk amongst each other. They only listen to what each other has to say. Very few of them actually expand their knowledge and their learning of the industry outside of what it is to be a truck driver. And personally, I think that's what makes me special, is because I have been one. I've seen both sides of it, and I have a perspective of this industry as a whole. And I say that because to them, they blame the person that they deal with, which is the broker. You know what I mean? And the only relationship that they have with the shipper is when they go pick up. And honestly, where they pick up may not even be the customer. There's another misconception that carriers have. They think, oh, well, where I pick up is the customer, or maybe where I deliver is the customer. And dude, that is not always how it is, but my point is they only have a small interaction with the customer. And if they do, it's not even the customer themselves. It's a dock loader or a transportation manager. You know what I mean? And so, and they go to these buildings and they see these fancy equipment in these big buildings. And they're like, oh, these people have money. They're just throwing money out the door. They're paying these carrier or these brokers $4 a mile. I know, because that's what I would charge them if I was a broker, and the broker's only giving me $1.85 a mile. And it is such a huge fucking misconception that it is unbelievable. And I'll tell you, I want to say another misconception, and I wish I should go back and look through my group and see, but there's this guy that put out this article in the article it talks about that he verbatim repeats it, that brokers tack on a 20 to 30% markup onto their fucking rate when they rate someone. And there's another of those bullshit misconceptions that's out there. Everyone thinks that brokers
the
get
average is
20% on
8%
every
right
load.
now.
30%.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. The day of 20% margins on every load have been gone for years. Now,
Yep.
Are there brokers out there making that? Yes. But it is through an extremely established relationships where that customer knows this broker is charging me $1,500 extra on top of this rate, but they're worth it. And so is my freight, and I'm going to pay it. But I'll tell you, as someone who tracks my analytics every single month, because my boss Kyle does this, is my average profit margin is like 7 to 12%. Like over the month, I'm looking around a 10. Like that's it. $100, $200, $300 on a load. That's all I make. And I think that misconception though adds onto the thing that the brokers are the ones who control it. Like we're the ones that are sitting on all the money. You know what I mean? Like, oh, if the load's paying $1,500, then that broker's got another $500 in it. Like, and there's no logic behind it. It's just like these random numbers that some of these carriers come up with. And it's like, dude, you have no idea how rating freight works because you've never done it. And even if you had done it, you've only done it from your side of things, and you've not done it from like the broker side. And I'm not saying that is like you're an idiot and I'm not, but there's more that goes into rating freight than, oh, I need $3 a mile. Like that's just not how that's not how the cookie crumbles. So that's something I think that adds to this, is the misconception that brokers make 20 and 30%. Like I'm like, bro, who is doing that? Like, please.
The only time I make like 16 to maybe 30% is if it's a one-off, very low rev load. Like if it's like $200, I'll probably.
Yeah, I mean, a $50 margin, $200. That's 25%.
Yeah, but if
That's
it's like if
yeah.
it's like steady volume, $2,500, like cost, you can get by very easily off of 8%.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
That's not being greedy. That's literally just a bottom dollar, and you're still making money. Like,
I'll tell you, dude, I mean, I do make some killer margins on stuff, man, on a few things, I mean, I made a $1,500 profit last week on one load, but I didn't fuck anybody, man. Like, I just overbid the load thinking it was going to cost more to move it than it did. And I made that, but man, like most of my stuff, it's $100, $200 wins, and I do volume. Like that's my deal. I'll take 5 $200 wins a day, or 6 or 7, or whatever. And if I get one day where I get $1,000 worth of wins, or $1,000 win, I'm happy. But like, to me, it's not the percentage, it's the volume. That's
it's freight. It's having the freight. Knowing that you will have that freight. Like, if it's specialized, like all day long, make that $1,500 rip, because
of course.
If the customer has a problem with it, all right, go find someone else. I'll talk to you in a couple hours.
Yeah.
It'll work out. But yeah, normal everyday freight. I mean, I know Kyle said he's not a runner, but it is a marathon. Like,
he's not. He's got a beer belly.
I don't like to run either, man. But yeah, like you can't make $1 million in a day.
Yeah.
Like,
And
get that one customer, have X amount a week that that's going to be guaranteed to you. Make that bottom dollar. Go get you a few more customers, man.
And
you got
now
4 or 5 customers that you're making, a couple thousand off a week.
Oh yeah, dude, I got. I mean, I don't have a lot of customers, man. Like I feel in this industry or this profession, like just like everything else in my life, it is quality over quantity. I mean, I think I got like 12 or 13 customers maybe that I do business with, and that's dude, I do fine with them. Like I do. I mean, I'm working to get more, obviously, but like those 12, 13 I got, like my book is strong, man. I do a good amount of freight, but not to get stuck on that. To move to a thing where I will say that brokers do have a part in controlling the rate market. And I don't know how big you guys are into like the back part of the industry, which when I say what I'm about to say, maybe it'll make sense. But in a way that the brokers do affect the rate market is, and I've said this on previous shows, that the way that data analytics and even Truck Stop, which nobody uses Truck Stop. I'm sorry, Truck Stop, but nobody uses you to rate loads, except for maybe flatbed, open deck. But I'm talking about it in the majority of things. I
don't even use Truck Stop to rate that stuff. It's their rate made whatever it is terrible. You are absolutely right.
So, but the way DAT gets all their rates is, and I honestly just found this out not too long ago, and I'm gonna throw some love to my boss Kyle. He's actually the one that taught me this. Is that DAT is when you sign up with DAT as a broker or a carrier, then they ask permission to integrate with your transportation system, the thing that you book loads through, that it shows, hey, this is what the rate I got on the load was. This is what the rate that I paid to the carrier was, or you as the carrier, this is what I got the load from the broker as, and input it in my system as my pay. And so DAT takes that once a month or however, or every few days, whatever it is, they input it into their system and it spits out these numbers. And that's where the DAT rate market grid comes from. And so the kicker with that is obviously a majority of those people that are able to have their softwares integrated, or that even have software to be integrated, are the brokers. So, that's why when you look at that DAT rate grid, it has the long-term graph that is over the last 12 months. And then on the far right side, it has that pay to carrier portion of it. And that all of that data, and obviously, and especially that pay to carrier, is the stuff that when a broker books a load, they're like, hey, I booked this load for $1,250. And then they get data from a bunch of other brokers that have booked similar freaking loads on that lane. It says, oh, I booked it for 13 and I did 1150. And then it spits out its data. And then that's what the the rate view spits out is what the lane should pay. And then that's what brokers give to their customers. Now, people in Hunter's situation and also in your situation, Chad, because, you know, Hunter, you do international, Chad, you do some overdimensional shit. And I know you can't just go on DAT and say, oh, it's, you know, $250 a fucking mile to run this 15-foot wide, 20-foot tall load. You know what I mean? But for everyone else, for me that does traditional stuff, you know, huh?
So tell my shippers that.
Right. But so I say all that to again say that is a way that the brokers do have a hand in controlling the rate market. But to finalize on my point, is what that guy said in that video, that ultimately at the very end, it is the carrier and the shipper. Because the shipper is the one who says, I have X amount of dollars to spend. Whoever can get me closest or better to that number gets my business. And you as the carrier are the one who says, hey, I'm willing to accept this $2.05 load a mile, even though I know I need $3 on it. And I know that sounds like me passing the blame off to you, but that's not, because just as my boss Kyle said here, is the person who has the money is the person that is in control, and the person who is trying to get that money is the person on the shorter stick, because the one who's got the money to give you is the one that gets to make all the rules, and you just have to abide by those rules, and then you can have the money. So I know that sounds crappy to say, but, you know, carriers, you have as much of this to blame in this market for the rates that are out there as do the shippers and the little part of the brokers. And I also would even say more, and I'm sorry it's going to hurt your feelings, but I say it all the time, and it's the fucking truth, and you can just like it or not. This is y'all's fault. If you would not have taken advantage of COVID and stuck it to these shippers without the KY, they would not be doing what they're doing to you right now and pinching every single penny. And I know you don't like to hear it because carriers think that they don't do nothing wrong, but I'm a broker that can admit when I'm a mess and I make a mistake, and carriers, it's time for you to own up and say, I took advantage of someone, they caught on to it, and now they're screwing me, and I have only myself to blame for that.
Preach.
What are you laughing about, Chad?
Without the KY, man, you had me. I was like, yeah, get him, and then you dropped without the KY, and I don't know. I just, you know, the child in me came out, and I couldn't help but laugh at it. I mean,
that's what makes the lounge perfect, baby.
Absolutely true. Every bit of what you just said, absolutely true. But it would have been more serious without the KY.
No, dude,
without the KY has been a big problem for a lot of people. It seems like.
Yes. But you have to add the KY because it adds emphasis on how much it hurts. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm done with this show. I'm leaving.
That's fine. Chad and I will party by ourselves. I love your logo,
I'm sure
Chad.
you will.
What's that?
I love your logo.
Thank you, buddy.
But in a way, I will say it kind of looks like you stole part of it from Sherwin-Williams.
No, this thing was custom designed. That shit is a lot more expensive than I thought. Just as most of what it costs to start up a business, I wasn't expecting any of it. It's been a long 2 weeks. A lot of money has gone out, but no, I had to make a few logos for me just to look at and buy one. And they made me two, or they made me about six, but I really liked two of them. I wasn't sure which one to pick, so I bought this one, and it just, to me, it looks professional, looks elegant. Elegant. It looks it's nice. It's nice for this corporate eyes, you know.
It's Ella pretty. It look good.
I'm looking on my computer here, so I'm really not good at looking at one thing.
Mama see.
It's really bad at me. But then I was like, okay, so this is 2023. We all like hats. We all like my favorite thing is beer koozies, can koozies. And so I was like, I need a logo for that. And so I went ahead and bought a second logo, and it should be pulling up behind me here any moment here.
How much money did you pay for the black box?
Thankfully, that one wasn't as expensive. That's not what was supposed to happen, though. But it's showing. It's the right logo. It's shown here. I don't know why it's not behind me. So we're gonna have a black box behind me. But it's just a more modern day roughneck kind of logo for my merch. But yeah, no one told me that shit was expensive before I started a company.
So before we continue it is time for us to drop another sponsor bomb. And as you can see, we just so happen to have Freight Management System, who has an incredible transportation management system. Dude, you should say that like 10 times fast. You know what I mean? It's like a tongue twister. Has a great transportation management system for all of you out there in the industry, brokers, shippers, carriers, looking for a way to streamline your processes and become more efficient, more effective in the way that you do business. We recommend that you reach out to Freight Management Systems. Their information is scrolling below or at the bottom of the screen. And here is a quick word from that sponsor. There you go. Freight Management Systems. We're going to have Henry Sheldon back on here in November, matter of fact, to talk about some new updates and rollouts that they have coming up for their system.
Don't be a victim of cheap freight anymore.
Wow. Sorry.
Should have just let it run.
Yeah. Our second sponsor, AccuBid Pro. They have an app out there for all you owner operators, lease contractors. It helps you keep track of your expenses and shows you where you are profitable at. Also helps you be able to bid on freight better because once you know at what point you're making money, you will also know at what rate that you need to be taking loads at. And we will have a word from them now.
Don't be a victim of cheap freight anymore. Take back control. These are turbulent times for the transportation industry, with companies merging or even closing their doors. Whether you're going out on your own or leasing on with a new company, know your operating costs. Look out for you and bid better with AccuBid Pro.
Love it, love it, love it. That was awesome. Jimmy Durden and Crystal. I'm sure there's probably more of them over there. Those are the only two that I know. Over at AccuBid Pro, Jimmy and Crystal, give them a shout. I forgot to put their information at the bottom of the screen like a butt face. Information scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Reach out to them. Tell them that the Pimp Squad at the Logistic Lounge sent you. No, I'm joking. Tell them the guys at the Logistic Lounge sent you over there, so that way they can send us some free beer because we all love free beer. Anyway, do y'all have anything that y'all want to follow up with? We have blamed ourselves for the freight market. We have blamed the carriers, and we have all three come to the conclusion that the shippers, based on our evidence, our knowledge, all the things that we have at hand, are the ones that are responsible for the rates that hit the market. And who's the ones that are responsible for the rates that they get paid?
Carriers.
Anybody? The carriers. There we go, Chad. Thank you. I'm
Fuck, I was only here. What do y'all call me? Part-time? Dr. Dre, where the hell are you at on that one, buddy?
Hey,
He's
buddy.
fucking spaced out tonight, bro. I don't know. I think he took too much flu medication.
So I shared this earlier on my social media, but this is the other logo I bought. I thought this one was much cooler for like beer koozies and hats.
Yeah, dude. No, you want to know my I want to say my theory. I don't know what word it would be, but my stance on beer koozies is if you need a beer koozie, you're drinking too slow.
Now it's more of like I said, this is not going to make it sound any better. I promise. It's not about. I don't know. My hands are sensitive.
Oh my god! I love his wife. His wife just laughed her. Oh my Jesus Christ! Oh, even his wife
down over here.
Even his wife was like, "Listen to this little bitch."
Stop laughing.
Oh
On the couch.
That's wrong.
Oh my God, Chad, you get off. Have your wife come on. She seems more fun. Hi,
Hello.
wife.
No, don't,
That's right.
no. They want you
We're fun,
more.
yeah.
I guess you got manlier hands than I do.
Anyway, unless you guys got anything to add, I'm gonna jump off here.
I do want to say R.I.P. to Mr. Michael Gambon. Albus Dumbledore passed away today.
Elvis Dumbledore.
That is true. I
Great
saw
my
that.
Harry Potter fans.
Moment of silence.
Chad,
Okay.
stop breathing so hard.
That's my dog snoring. That's she's on.
Yes,
She's on the group chat right
R.I.P. to Dumbledore. I did. I saw that.
Absolutely.
Saw that in the news earlier today. Oh, before we go, we had one last comment, and it's my wife. She says it's time to put me to bed. There we go. Yeah, nice. Chad, you can't laugh. Your wife's already in bed next to you. You already put her in bed. So, yeah. Hunter's
All
time
right.
to go put your ducks to bed, Hunter. Go put your duckies to bed. How's your duck farm going, Hunter?
They're doing good, man. They're doing good.
All right.
Yeah.
Have you
dude,
named
I'm
them
about
yet?
Nah, there's like 12 of them, so it's hard
Alright.
to keep up with them. But I'm gonna build like a little stair step over my balcony so they can come in, and hang out.
now. No, that'd be cool.
We got to have them on the show.
Dude, if I can catch one of them and keep it as a pet, you best believe.
Dude, that should be our saying for everything now. When someone says something about something, we're like, we got to have them on the show.
Gotta have them on the
Anyway,
show.
I'm gonna jump off here, guys. It was amazing hanging out with just us three tonight. I think we did pretty okay for the solo deal. I know we said some things that carriers ain't gonna like, brokers ain't gonna like, and maybe shippers. I don't know if any of my customers are watching this or now or later, but yeah. So hopefully people got some good information. Sorry we had to drop some bombs, but to recap, the people that are ultimately in control of the freight rate market are 1, the shippers, 2, the carriers, 3, the brokers. It may not be what you want to hear, but it is the truth. The people that have the money, the shippers, are the ones in control of who makes the money, the brokers and the carriers. Yes, the brokers put the rates out there on the market, but the carriers are the ones that accept it. And I know that sounds like placing off blame, but ultimately it is, and this is a broker saying this to you. If you don't want to get paid that rate, don't take that load. And eventually the shippers will realize my freight's sitting, I've got to pay more, and rates will start to go back up. And also this industry is cyclical. This is also what some people are calling a great freight reset. The market spiked during COVID, rates were out of fucking control, and COVID ended, and everything had to crash back down to put some normality back in the market. It only sucks because fuel is so high and inflation is hit. And I know that also may sound like a cop-out, but it's the truth. If prices hadn't rose so much on other goods and services and diesel wasn't high, then the low rates where they're at right now really wouldn't be that big of a deal. Because I can tell you back in 2008, during the Great Recession, rates were where they are right now, and diesel was at $5 a fucking gallon in 2008. I don't have the conversion charts to let you know the vast difference that is, but let's just estimate and say $5 in 2008 is probably like $7 or $8 now, likely. So, it just is the way the market is right now. We're all having to suck through it. Hopefully, if the economy continues to bounce back, consumer spending stays steady, continues to grow, we have a good holiday season. The projections are coming into 2024 that the rates are really going to start all coming up below or above $2 a mile. And all I can say is we all got to wait it out and see how the cookie crumbles and where the path leads us.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Guys, I love you. Y'all have a great night. I will see you here tomorrow night, Hunter. And are you coming tomorrow night, Chad?
I'll let you know.
Okay.
We're going to Woods of
I
Terror.
love how he looked over his wife. See that? He was like, am I? That's cool, bro. It's cool. I'm married too. I understand.
Date night, got one, got a kid. Hell of a
I
week.
know that's
We got another kid on the way. We're trying to squeeze him in while we can.
Oh man, well,
Right
maybe
on.
if y'all would stop trying to squeeze things in, you wouldn't be having another kid on the way.
All right, one love.
I didn't
See y'all
squeeze
tomorrow.
that time, I guess.